The attic was a place of shadows and whispers. It was a realm where the past lingered, where every corner seemed to hold a story waiting to be told. Dust motes danced in the faint rays of sunlight that pierced through cracks in the boarded-up windows. They moved like tiny spirits, swirling in the golden light, adding a touch of magic to the otherwise somber atmosphere. The air hung heavy with the scent of time and forgotten things. It was a mix of aged wood, old paper, and the faint, musty smell of memories long since tucked away. I stepped cautiously into the room, my heart pounding with a mixture of trepidation and excitement. Each creak of the floorboards beneath my feet seemed to echo the heartbeat of the house itself. This attic, in my late grandmother's house, had always held an allure, a silent invitation to uncover its secrets. It was a place I'd only heard about in hushed conversations, a place that seemed almost mythical in its mystery. Cobwebs clung to my hair as I navigated the labyrinth of forgotten treasures. Each step forward was a journey deeper into the past, a step closer to understanding the lives that had once filled this space. Trunks overflowed with antique clothing, their fabrics brittle with age. These garments, once worn with pride, now lay in silent repose, their stories woven into the very threads that held them together. Faded photographs peeked out from dusty albums, their subjects lost to time. Faces stared back at me, their expressions frozen in moments of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. I ran my fingers along a shelf, my fingertips tracing the outlines of forgotten dreams. Each object I touched seemed to whisper its own tale, a fragment of a larger story that was waiting to be pieced together. In the far corner, beneath a moth-eaten tapestry, I spotted a small wooden chest. It was unassuming, yet it seemed to call out to me, promising answers to questions I hadn't even thought to ask. Curiosity tugged at me like an insistent child. I felt a pull, an irresistible urge to uncover what lay within that chest, to unlock the secrets it held. I knelt down, my fingers trembling slightly as I lifted the chest's lid. The hinges creaked in protest, as if reluctant to reveal the contents they had guarded for so long. Inside, nestled amongst yellowed lace and dried lavender, lay a leather-bound journal. It was worn, its cover cracked and faded, but it exuded a sense of importance, a weight of history. Its pages were filled with elegant, spidery handwriting, the ink faded but still legible. Each word seemed to pulse with life, as if the writer's spirit lingered within the lines. This journal, I sensed, held the key to the attic's whispers, the secrets it longed to reveal. It was a bridge to the past, a connection to the lives that had once filled this house with laughter, tears, and dreams. As I delicately lifted the journal from its resting place, a small silver key slipped from its pages and landed with a soft clink on the wooden floor. The sound seemed to resonate, echoing through the attic like a bell tolling in a silent church. I picked it up, my pulse quickening. The key was cool to the touch, its surface smooth and worn from years of handling. It felt significant, as if it held the power to unlock not just a physical door, but a door to understanding. The attic seemed to hold its breath, waiting with bated anticipation. It was as if the very walls were alive, eager to share their stories, to finally be heard after years of silence. I knew in that moment that I was on the brink of a discovery that would change everything. The attic's silence was broken only by the rustle of aging paper as I carefully turned the journal's pages. My grandmother's words, penned decades ago, seemed to come alive before my eyes.
The journal entries spoke of hidden legacies, of a secret society, and of a treasure buried somewhere on our ancestral land. The words painted vivid pictures in Sarah's mind.
I read of clandestine meetings held under the cover of darkness, of coded messages passed from one generation to the next. The journal spoke of a responsibility passed down through the family line, a responsibility to protect a secret that had been guarded for centuries. Intrigue wrapped around me like a comforting shawl. This wasn't just a dusty old journal, it was a roadmap to a hidden world, a world my grandmother had been a part of. Each page I turned deepened the mystery, pulling me further into its web. The silver key felt heavy in my pocket, a tangible reminder of the adventure that lay ahead. The attic, once a place of forgotten memories, was now a treasure trove of clues, each one whispering of a past waiting to be unearthed. The old oak tree stood sentinel at the edge of the property, its branches reaching towards the sky like gnarled fingers. It was a majestic sight, a living monument to the passage of time, its bark weathered and worn, yet resilient and strong. The tree had an aura of timelessness, as if it had always been there and always would be, watching over the land and its inhabitants. It had witnessed generations of my family come and go, its roots running deep beneath the soil, intertwined with our history. Each generation had left its mark on the tree, from the initials carved into its bark to the stories told beneath its shade. The oak tree was more than just a tree. It was a living archive of our family's legacy, a silent witness to our joys and sorrows, our triumphs and defeats. This tree, according to my grandmother's journal, held the next clue in my quest. Her journal was filled with cryptic notes and sketches, hinting at secrets hidden within the tree's embrace. She had always been a mysterious figure, my grandmother, with her tales of hidden treasures and ancient wisdom. Her journal was a treasure trove of knowledge, a guide to the mysteries she had uncovered in her lifetime. As I approached the ancient oak, a sense of peace washed over me. The air was cool and still, the only sound the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. It was as if the tree itself was welcoming me, inviting me to uncover its secrets. The closer I got, the more I felt a connection to the tree, as if it was a part of me and I a part of it. It was as if the tree itself emanated a sense of calm, of wisdom accumulated over centuries of life. The oak seemed to pulse with a quiet energy, a life force that had sustained it through countless seasons. Standing before it, I felt a profound sense of reverence, as if I was in the presence of something sacred, something far greater than myself. The journal had instructed me to look for a loose brick in the stone bench that encircled the tree's base. The bench was old and weathered, its stones covered in moss and lichen. It had been built by my ancestors, a place to sit and reflect, to commune with the tree and the land. I knelt down and began to examine the stones, my fingers tracing their rough surfaces. My fingers traced the rough edges of the weathered stone, searching for any sign of irregularity. Each stone was unique, its surface marked by the passage of time. I felt a sense of anticipation, my heart beating faster as I searched. And then, just as the journal had promised, I found it. A brick that felt different, its texture smoother, its edges less defined. And then I felt it. A slight give, a subtle difference in texture. My fingers pressed against the brick, and it moved, pivoting inward with a soft click. I held my breath, my heart pounding in my chest. This was it, the moment I had been waiting for. The brick revealed a small, hidden compartment, a space that had been concealed for generations. With gentle pressure, I pushed against the brick, and to my surprise, it pivoted inward, revealing a small, hollow space behind it. The compartment was dark and musty, filled with the scent of earth and decay. I reached inside, my fingers brushing against something cold and metallic. I pulled it out, my hands trembling with excitement. Inside, nestled amongst the decaying leaves and cobwebs, lay a metal box. It was small and unassuming, its surface tarnished and covered in dust. But there was something about it, something that spoke of hidden secrets and forgotten stories. I brushed away the leaves and cobwebs, revealing the intricate designs etched into the metal. My heart pounded with anticipation as I lifted it out, its weight surprising. The box was heavier than it looked, its contents a mystery. I could feel the weight of history in my hands, the legacy of my ancestors. I held the box close, my mind racing with possibilities. What secrets did it hold? What stories would it reveal? The box was cold to the touch, its surface etched with intricate designs that seemed both ancient and strangely familiar. The patterns were mesmerizing, a blend of symbols and shapes that hinted at a deeper meaning. I traced the designs with my fingers, feeling a connection to the past, to the generations that had come before me. This was more than just a box. It was a key to my family's history, a link to the mysteries that had shaped our lives. The metal box, once opened with the silver key, revealed a treasure trove of its own. It was a box that had been passed down through generations, each keeper adding their own secrets and memories to its contents. Inside, carefully preserved, lay a collection of old maps, faded photographs, and handwritten notes. These items were not just relics, they were pieces of a puzzle, fragments of a story waiting to be told. Each item seemed to pulse with a quiet energy, a tangible link to the past. The photographs, with their sepia tones and worn edges, whispered tales of days long gone. I delicately unfolded the brittle parchment of the maps. The paper crackled softly under my fingers, as if it were alive, eager to share its secrets. Their edges were frayed with age, but the ink drawings were still clear. The lines and symbols seemed to dance on the page, inviting me to explore the world they depicted. They depicted familiar landmarks, the old mill, the covered bridge, the winding path that led to the nearby lake. These were places I had visited as a child, places that held a special place in my heart. But there were other markings too, symbols and annotations that were unfamiliar, their meanings lost to time. These cryptic notes hinted at hidden paths and secret locations, places that had been forgotten by all but a few. The photographs were equally intriguing. They captured moments frozen in time, glimpses of lives that had once been vibrant and full of promise. Some depicted people I recognized, my grandparents as young children, other relatives long gone. Their faces were familiar, yet there was a sense of mystery about them, as if they held secrets of their own. But others showed strangers, their faces serious, their clothing hinting at a bygone era. Who were these people? What stories did they have to tell? These people, I sensed, were members of the secret society my grandmother had written about. A society shrouded in mystery, its purpose known only to a select few. As I sifted through the contents of the box, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the old oak tree above me. The tree had stood there for centuries, a silent witness to the passage of time. It was as if the wind itself was whispering secrets, urging me to follow the clues and uncover the truth that lay hidden in my family's past. The rustling leaves seemed to echo the voices of my ancestors, guiding me on a journey of discovery and revelation. Each item in the box was a piece of a larger puzzle, a key to unlocking the mysteries of my heritage. The wind carried with it the whispers of those who had come before me, their stories intertwined with my own. As I stood there, under the ancient oak, I felt a deep connection to my roots, a sense of belonging that transcended time and space. The journey ahead was uncertain, but I knew that with each step, I would uncover more of the truth, and in doing so, honor the legacy of those who had paved the way before me.